in he comes. Massive week. Big night for you tonight, Purple.
Yes, so
Ooh.
we'll be there. Jim, who have you got winning that?
Nick Dacos.
Have you?
Dacos.
Okay.
Have.
I've got Noah Anderson.
Have you?
Who's
Well,
going to
they'd
take
both
the
be very
votes off
worthy.
Nick Dacos?
Probably not too many people in that regard.
So that's why he wins. Whereas Noah's going to have, Matty Rao's going to have a few, you would have thought. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why.
I just don't look at the 2025 season of Nick's as good as, or as loftily as I did in 2024 and even 3, which was his working backwards, third and second seasons. There was nothing wrong with the year, but I just didn't think it reached the absolute high points of those two.
Well, they would both be worthy winners. So if Noah Anderson wins it,
What
he's a
about-
very, very, very good player.
Baslenko wins it. Imagine the speech. I reckon the minder might go up from the catch and just stand behind him.
Steve Hocking.
Steve Hocking and Mackie, both sides. And say,
Hopefully he's got some black shoes for tonight, Bill.
exactly.
He wore the
Well, he
white.
could win it. He's had a really good year. He's missed
Yeah.
a few games. That's his only problem.
Missed three. So, but he will be a massive chance.
Righto.
As always, there's storylines everywhere with the two grand finalists, aren't there? And I feel the two oldest players on the ground in Paddy Dangerfield and Dane
Blitz.
Zorko. Well, that from a Geelong perspective, Blitzers, but they're still as important as ever, aren't they? With what they both did in the prelim finals, we celebrated already what Dangerfield did, but I love the response of Dane Zorko in basically contributing to 3, and if it wasn't 3, it may have been all 4 of Collingwood's first 4 goals.
Yep.
And yet still was able to just regroup and reassess and have a major impact in a very good Brisbane Lions win. I think that just summarises the guy up, doesn't it? He just moves on. And that's the beauty of it, that he's not going to labour those thoughts and not restrict his ball movement and attempts at those risky kicks that he takes and have been so crucial to the Lions this
I
year.
think Isaac Smith had him as Collingwood's best player at halftime.
Did he?
Yep. But his second half was amazing.
yeah.
So, absolutely. And the danger, I'm just thinking to myself over I don't reckon I've seen a better final played than that. In the modern, Dusty, maybe in the granny up in Brizzy, that might be the only other one you could put in the same category.
It's a fair call, Jim, just the way he just changed the outcome of the game. They're 21 points down. He was the one who kicked their first goal in that free kick that he got where Shannon Neal actually marked it, but he actually got the free kick prior to Neal marking it and kicked that goal, kicked 2 others, and was just everywhere. I mean, even just some, as you pointed out, just some of the hardball gets he got as a midfielder, just as it was about to spill out and go the opposition way.
And they built it up really well, the Cats. I read somewhere he'd been to 6 ball-ups during the year, home and away, right?
Is
6
that all?
into the
For the
centre.
entire year?
Into the centre, 6 times the whole year. 14 times in the first final against Brisbane, and then it was something like 12 or 13 on the weekend. So they've just unleashed him for the finals.
I feel they've done a bit of that too with Mark Blitzarves, haven't they? Now, I know
magnificent.
that...
No, but they had to do
Stanley's-
that because Stanley was out. So Blix had to go into the ruck.
But I feel Stanley's ready to play, and there's
What's
no
gonna happen?
guarantee he's going to come back in. It's going to be a massive storyline this week, isn't it? Because I look at it on paper, and you see Darcy Fort and Oscar McInerney on the opposing team there, and yet they're not both commanding ruckman, are they? They've both found a role in the past 2 finals, and they brought McInerney back for that second week of finals, but I just feel that enough footy people that I've spoken to will just stick with Mark Blitzarves and not bring Stanley in, despite Tom Stewart coming out of the mix for the HIA reasons and the concussion issues that he's got.
So does that mean Buse comes in then?
Well, they need to replace him, don't they, Bill? And how that looks, it's going to be... I would think that would be the safer call, wouldn't it, to replace him with a back or a potential back, and how they use the sub. Does Jai Clark start as a sub again, or does Buse start there in case something goes? There's injury worries, obviously, for both clubs. Brisbane has got the Lockie Neal situation. Jared Berry almost certainly won't play with the popped shoulder. Look, the club probably will give him a chance publicly to keep saying he might be a chance, but the fact that it's now popped twice inside 4 matches and the lack of confidence that he and others making this decision on his availability are going to have in him not being able to tackle, which is how it popped out again on the weekend. So he'll come out. I think it makes it easier to bring Lockie Neal in.
Can he play? That's a calf. They've got to be so careful with that.
And prior to that, it was a 4-week absence with the groin. So, Look, it's been a very public plea to play, hasn't it? It started on Triple M on the Saturday Rub 2 weeks ago when he made sure he was in the hyperbaric chamber when we were interviewing him. And it was I think it was quite calculated. Hey, I'm potentially available. And then it ramped up over the course of the weekend where if you've got a calf, it's not normally ideal to travel unnecessarily, and yet he made the flight with the team, did a training session in Melbourne. That would have been the reason he did do that, but ultimately he did travel in a way that he didn't need to, and again, got on the microphone straight away. I think I'm going to be ready. So I can't see how they now don't play him.
That is interesting. Injured players in finals,
Well,
Damo.
Well, we saw Collingwood. They had a couple of injuries, didn't they? My check wasn't right.
He didn't seem right,
Not
did he?
at all.
Yeah.
With that toe.
And I thought Jeremy Howe battled really
He was
courageously.
okay.
Yeah.
But wasn't 100%. And Pennells, what's the story there? Because the doctor was talking to him before the game, yeah?
Yeah, look, I'm not one to read a lot into that. I think Scott Pendlebury speaks a lot to people around him.
But he would have had a sore calf, obviously.
Yeah, but as he has got through 400-plus games of footy, it wouldn't mean the first time he'd felt something prior to the game. Obviously, it's been heightened because he was subbed out for the game and would have missed the grand final had they won the game because of what happened in the first 10 minutes. So it's not ideal, is it? No. Because to lose him in that way and then to not have him, not just for his football smarts, but as we've seen, even in the 2023 last quarter grand final, the
setting up the team.
with the on-field coaching that he's been offering.
Got to give my youngest son, Fred, recognition for a sentence he said to me about 2 months ago. He said, Dad, there's a bloke called Sam Marshall on Brisbane's list who is a jet.
Oh.
And I'm like, who are you talking about? I'd literally never heard of him. He said he played at Sandy the year Fred was a bottom major.
Wow.
He said, mate, he is a jet, this bloke. You wait till he starts playing.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, isn't he?
He come from nowhere.
Well, him and Ty Gallup, by the way.
Oh, Morgan.
Morgan Gallup. He grabbed everything.
He did.
He grabbed everything. And we know Morris is a good player.
Yeah.
But they're young kids. They dominated, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they have. I mean, you look at what Jasper Fletcher has done. I mean,
great.
he unfairly, I think, doesn't get enough kudos given what has happened with the same year of entry with Will Ashcroft. And, I mean, that's fair enough too because Will just keeps dominating finals, doesn't he? I mean, he's dominated the 3 of the last 4 he's played. And he probably
Fletcher's
looms
a ripper.
He's
a beauty.
No, he does. He runs both ways, Sam Mitchell, doesn't he? Back to Freddie's point.
Sam Marshall.
Marshall.
No, it's very good. All right, some more with Damo. I like this. This is more fireside.
Throwing it around.
He is.
Yes.
It's good. What happens with you, Purple, after this?
Well, I've got trade radio requirements.
One of your platforms?
As of Monday.
Is that on AFL Live?
Yes, it is.
Right.
Yes.
Another one of your platforms, Damo?
It is, Bill. Yeah.
When do you wind up?
Probably mid to late November.
And then you're going over
Texas.
to Dallas?
Are you coming still on that trip?
No, I've been told I can't go.
Because he was trying to gate crash
I
out of
know.
the trip.
He wasn't invited.
He even...
Was it Hutchie told you can't go?
No, Crystal.
So you're off. You're off to tell me.
Literally wasn't invited and tried to gate crash.
But I was looking
Someone
forward
else's
to it.
No,
holiday.
I
was
wanted
actually
to
looking
go with
forward to
Damo.
it. Yeah, I was actually looking forward to
Two
it.
of my best friends, Damo and
Two
Campbell
best
Brown.
friends with
Campbell Brown.
And Campbell. And Hutch.
Oh, no.
Although you and Hutch aren't
No,
great.
you're not great.
Hutchie confronted you after the Friday night.
I can't
Geelong win.
remember.
You probably can't, actually.
What's going on at Essendon, please, Damo?
Yeah,
Damo.
a little bit. Look, I believe Zach Merritt will attend the Brownlow tonight. I believe he will attend the...
On the Essendon
on
table.
the Essendon table.
Really?
And I believe he will attend the Crichton Medal. Now, that could still change, but that's what we heard over the course of the weekend from people who usually know these things. But...
Right.
It's still, I've got no inkling to think that he wants to stay at Essendon for 2026. So it's still, as we have thought now for about a fortnight, going to ramp
But
up
he
in the
could
trade.
go back. He still could play there.
I don't. As of what I heard on the weekend, Bill,
Righto.
he's got no intent to want to stay. So look, the default position will be, as it already has been, he's contracted for 2026 and 2027. And if you want to engage, we're not going to engage. That's Essendon's default position.
What
but
about the president?
Zach,
Will he be
he's
there?
He's in a world
Dave
of hurt.
Barham.
Dave
What's
Barham.
going on there?
Yeah, there is a very typical Essendon situation behind the scenes brewing, Bill. There's people on the board, there's people who are connected off the board, and I feel it's going to come to a head at some stage of the next week to 10 days.
What, he'll go?
I think they'll try and broker a position on it, and if not, they might even get quite aggressive on it. But there's enough noise now that's been around for a week or so. Tom Morris reported it yesterday, by the way, on Channel 9, and subsequent to that, and prior to that, there was noises afoot. I think you both know my views on Dave Barham. It was 3 years ago, almost to the week or month, that he came in as a quote, an agent of some sort of change. That was the quote he gave, and the only change that's happened has been bad, in my eyes, since he's been there. So I think he's had a chance. He sacked a president and a coach and a CEO rolled as a result of his actions then, and nothing, I don't think, has fixed that footy club under his watch.
Stability, Purple. They need it badly. at Essendon.
Yeah.
They don't need to be throwing the toys out of the cot at the minute, I wouldn't have thought.
They don't either. Just on the Marbior Chol situation, Hawthorn Footy Club will challenge the 3-week ban that the match review office gave him for the tackle on Tom Stewart. I'm sceptical enough to think the AFL system, had Hawthorn won that
Oh, no, playing all day long.
preliminary final, he's
No
playing.
problem, he's playing.
Yeah. So I'd sort of hope for his sake that they do argue that through one of the tribunals that are now in front of them. And, yeah, I'm convinced that would have been the case had they made the grand final.
I don't think that's a 3-weeker. He was falling, tackling.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was standing, tackled, and then an illegal action. He was actually falling as he tackled. And I reckon if you ask Tom Stewart, he would say, mate, no suspension is applicable here.
A free kick would have been nice.
Free kick's fine.
Well, that's the other thing. It wasn't an award on the
even a
night.
free
The umpires saw it. And we've regularly advocated with the AFL the need to crack down on the tackles that inflict concussion. We're big on that. But we're also big on the fact that accidents happen on a game of footy. And I felt he had his own feet taken as much as Tom Stewart had his own feet taken in that moment of tackling. So that's that one there. Just back onto the grand finals, a couple of nice stories where second chances have been presented, haven't they, to Max Holmes, who missed in 2022. That was the grand final. And obviously the drama out of the 2024 prelim final, 26 points up. He was best on ground at the time, then had the hamstring issue. And so he's had some finals trauma in that regard. And then the nice stories from the Brisbane Lions revolve around Oscar McInerney, who missed last year, banged his shoulder up in the prelim final, and Darcy Gardner, who was suffering a knee injury last year. Just one of those journeymen who I know Chris Fagan loves every single player on his list, but he's got a soft spot for Darcy Gardner, and particularly with the missing of him last year in that grand final. So
I like both of them. That's good.
I do like that. The two losing prelim finalists, you always judge them harshly, don't you? But
you do. But
I think you need to.
I worry a bit about Collingwood with the older boys, and especially they've signed up panels, haven't they? They've signed up Steele side bottom. Yes. How or not?
Yeah, how's Hell go around again as far as I remember? Yeah, and
they've signed up Nuts Coventry and Peter Dacos, Peter McKenna and
Tony Shaw.
They've signed on too. Apparently.
They should get Peter Moore. He's a good two-time Brownlow medalist too.
They're getting older, and I know.
Yeah. And it got them so far only, didn't it?
Exactly,
and that's where you're coming from, Bill.
Oh, Renee, your man.
I ran into Big Red. I'll tell you that.
You did.
You did. That's
a couple of times.
You told us,
In the ad break, you reenacted.
How he walked in. 7 grand finals he's lost. It's a concern, you would have thought.
Yeah, I feel it is, Bill. I do. And there's still, as we talk right now, yet to be get commitments from Jamie Elliott and Brodie Myercheck. And of the two, it seems Brodie Myercheck could be the one who is more likely to look elsewhere just for the security reasons. Jamie Elliott, not for the first time, is exploring options in the southeast Queensland part of the world where he's got family connections.
A bit of sun.
Up there. Yeah. And I thought he was outstanding. He kicked 8 goals in the 2 finals, 52 goals in the home and away 52. Season. Yeah, and got to 60 with the 2 finals.
Did we see goal and mark of the year in the same game?
I think we saw Mark, his mark in the third quarter.
Wasn't bad. Out of the mid-air.
The Will Ashcroft. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. I think they need to change that. They'll award those, I think, tonight, won't they, at the Brownlow, the official. I mean, we've long had comments on this that it's unfair to not include the finals in these adjudications. I mean, poor old Aaron Edwards, Jim, in 2007.
It was a great.
It's one of the great marks of all time. We just don't see it because it doesn't get reflected upon because it wasn't part of the voting.
Hey, Damo, there's a couple of things have changed in footy, though. I mean, I know the Pies are old, and that's had 1,800 game plus players in the same team. We're just getting to a different stage. Hawthorn this year did not have a debutant for the whole year.
Yeah.
Now, in the old days, you'd say that's crazy.
Yeah.
You've got to get games into kids. You've got to get exposure at the top level into your best kids. They didn't play one first gamer for the whole season.
No. And it got them all the way through to a prelim in which they were 3 goals up at one stage. So,
Collingwood, Hawthorn and Geelong were the oldest 3 lists in the comp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, every basically week Collingwood played this year, they became that new record holder.
Well, the 3 teams out of the prelim are the 3 oldest.
Yeah, but I think there's an element with Collingwood that was this the end? And look, Justin Lepage has got a still relatively new responsibility at that club to oversee the list. He wants to obviously have input in that and impact on it, and I think he's been around footy enough now to know that whatever happened this year, when it's all said and done, it wasn't stacking up to the very best. When it's all said and done.
Other observation?
Yes.
Outside the window?
Yes, please.
Well, we've got a couple of gentlemen who are going to do the blue carpet.
They're frocked up, Jim. Wow.
Will Ralston, very handsome man,
Yes.
so that's no surprises there. Got his tuxedo on, looking crisp.
It looks good.
Yeah.
The other one,
Who?
Jasper.
No.
Jasper's got a tuxedo on and he's going to the Brownlow.
Looks like a homeless one.
What's going on with him?
Jasper intrigues you, Jim, doesn't he?
Oh, I love Jasper. He's one of my
he does.
favourite
There he
individuals.
is.
Look at him. Look at him.
No tie.
Pablo.
No tie as yet for our man Jasmine. Oh, my goodness.
I got the votes from
Yes,
the
go on.
weekend. Of course,
Well, Danger surely got 10.
Danger 10, Blixard 6, Bailey Smith 6, Grind Myers. Jeez, he runs.
Grant
Four.
Myers.
Jeremy Cameron 2, Dylan Moore, Tyson Stengel 1. And
Harris
for
Andrews.
Collingwood, who are you going with?
Harris Andrews.
No, he got 6.
Okay.
McCluggage 9.
That's fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, Ashcroft
You must
5.
put time into him. I know
Yeah,
you
McCluggage.
will this weekend.
No.
Well,
But they didn't on the weekend.
No, but the Geelong did in the qualifying final, and
Yeah,
that's the narrative, isn't it? Does Ocean Mellon go back there?
Sheen. And does Mark O'Connor go back to Rayner?
Yeah, most probably. Worked
Probably
last time.
will. Exactly.
But the two finals he played since then, he's dominated McCluggage. You have to
It's been
put
a
time
massive
into it.
response, hasn't it, against the Suns?
Yep.
Yeah, previously.
All right, Purple. Well, enjoy tonight.
Yeah.
With your young bloke.
You're going to have a few? Addison?
I think I'll drive, Bill. I think I'll drive, but I'll have a
You're
couple.
gonna drive?
Yeah.
Don't be driving.
Well, I've got early commitments. 5:30 a.m.
That's
Jim.
no.
The Camaro.
You need to
You're gonna
tidy.
rock up in that.
You need to tidy your commitments up.
Go
Purple.
out to Sunshine with
We're a week
Addison.
away from all that
They're
slide down.
weighing
Jim.
you
Throw the
down.
keys to the person
Go
that
out
parks
to
your car.
Sunshine with Addison and just do a few broadies. Do a few donuts.
chap laps on the way
few
home.
Donuts.
Thank you for this year, Damo.
Well done,
done,
Purple.
mate.
Get it back, Rebs.
This is Triple M.